everybody, it's me, Lance Meister, the Undead Viking. I'm here to tell you about a game called Main Event. It comes in this cute little box. Well, I'm assuming it'll come in this kind of box when it gets published. But this is a card game that is based upon wrestling. And more importantly, it's based upon a battle royale of wrestling, or a Royal Rumble, or whatever it is that you grew up watching. You know, I did WWE or WWF at the time. I think they might have had, because they had the thing called the Royal Rumble, which was a pay-per-view event. And then maybe like the other things had to have like a battle royale or what have you. But regardless, this is a game that has up to 5 people, and you should have 5 people. That's the best way to play the game. You can play it with 2, and it still works, but you know, the more the merrier, because you're going to be bashing on each other and backstabbing each other, and like working on trying to make sure that the guys with the most health, you know, get dragged down, things like that. And it represents the idea that there's these 5 wrestlers rolling around in this ring, attacking each other and beating the tar out of each other, and whoever is the last person standing, just like in real wrestling, wins the game. So yes, this is a game with like player elimination, and what's really weird, or what's really cool, I should say, is that this one actually kind of accurately represents that facet of wrestling. You know, the Royal Rumble, or the every man for himself type of wrestling match that goes on. So I will show you how to play the game, as I always do. This is Main Event. I'll show you how, and then we'll come back here and I'll talk a little bit more about the game and what I like about it. All right, cool. Let's do this. Alright, this is the game of Main Event, and this is what you would see if you'd set up a 5-player game. Now, this wouldn't exactly be what you see, because the game wouldn't be this crowded, but I did want to show you all 5 decks and all 5 spots of the different playing cards. You have a Main Event deck where you'll be drawing cards to add to your decks that you have. You also have these special cards, which also you get to add if you draw certain types of bonuses and what have you. And these cards are the different wrestling cards that are in the middle, and they represent the different wrestlers that are wrestling, and they have fun names like Ultramarine Warrior, or Senor Wonderful, and Danny DeGuido over here. And so anyway, so they have little funny wrestling names, if you will. And but these will move, because you get to actually like move around the ring with certain cards that you can play. You'll notice each person has a deck of these cards, and that's their main deck. They actually have the color of the person, so like this is blue Danny DeGuido, and his cards are blue. And like down here, Ultramarine Warrior, and you know, his cards are orange. So there is a starting deck, and that is how they're designated. So to begin the game, what you're going to do is each person takes their deck of cards and they shuffle them up. They're going to take their little health card. Now normally the rules state you start here, start at a 1, climb to 10, flip it over, climb to 20. As soon as you hit 20, you're knocked out and you're out. Because I always like counting down with health, so I just play it like that. 20, 19 to 11, and 10 down to 1. Now technically he looks more healthy here than he does here, but I always say that you know, like the wrestlers, like they never get beat up. You know, they're always like they always have that second wind when they're almost gonna lose, right? So maybe it fits thematically more that way, but that's just the way I play. So you can play it however you want when you get the game. So you have this deck of cards, and the first thing you're going to do is each person is going to draw one of these ring bells, and the ring bell has numbers on it, and this will determine the turn order. And so each one draws that, and each time you're going to draw one, you're going to do that every single turn. You're going to turn them over, you're going to shake them up, and then each person will pick. And whether you go, you know, first, second, third, fourth, or fifth is really, really important, because of the fact that there's ways that people can mess with you and like do attacks and do actions against you that are going to actually, you know, stop you from being able to do what you want. And so, you know, that's something that you want to be aware of and be careful of. So you have these cards, and like, you know, attack left, and each person has a standard attack of 1 damage. So if you don't have any weapons or anything, you'll do 1 damage with an attack. And so attack left, you attack the person to your left for 1 damage. You know, oops. Block means that you don't take any damage. You can't be attacked in that particular moment. And then like dodge left means like literally like you dodge to the left, so you would switch places like so. So I mean, that's how that works. There's also cards that allow you to attack any. There's one card, so you can attack anybody in the ring. But, you know, and there's, and then the grapple card, when you grapple somebody, they lose their next action. And so you can, like, force them not to be able to do something. And so that's one of those things, like, timing-wise, if you know, you can, you know, help yourself out to stop somebody from doing something. So what happens is you draw 4 cards, and then you look at them, and then you pick 2 of those cards to use. And so then you kind of look at everybody and you try to figure out what they're going to do. And so maybe you want to attack the person to your left, and then you also want to block. You know, so maybe like the first thing you do, your first action is going to be to block, and so you put that one down in front of you. Notice under this card it says first action, second action, and technically it wouldn't be this close. I'm just showing you here. And so you go like that, and so then you take the 2 that you didn't use and you discard them face up to show that you haven't used them. And then what happens is everybody reveals their cards. Their first action and their second action, and then they take the actions that they picked. And sometimes, like the person you want to attack, maybe they've dodged out of the way before they've gotten there. If you tried to grapple somebody, maybe, you know, it didn't work, like because of the fact that maybe you got grappled prior to that, or you know, maybe like you got attacked or stunned or something before you get to act. Things like, you know, stuff like that can happen all the time. After you're done doing your 2 actions, you adjust your health if you got hurt in any way, shape, or form. You discard those, and then each person takes 1 card off the top of the main event deck, and they discard it face down, face up in their discard pile. And so once you get through your cards, obviously, then you get to shuffle and redraw. And so, like here, this one is a barbed wire bat, so it has +3 to attack. So, you know, you're going to be able to do a lot of damage if you have this one. And then, you know, so it's ongoing, so you get to keep it for a while, and it's one-handed. And so, like, because there are, weapons are, like, depending on 1 or 2 hands, you have to have an open hand to be able to do that. And that's pretty much the game. Here, I'm going to show you more of these cards as far as the special cards go, just so you can see other things you can do. But there's not a lot of rules to it. I mean, the basic mechanism is draw 4 cards, play 2 of them, and then timing-wise, you figure out how they work. And so there are cards like an energy drink, +2 to health, and that's a one-time use. Now, when you use... when you have to discard the main event cards, they are discarded into a main event discard pile. You don't put them into like your standard discard pile that you redraw. And so, like, people can like steal one item in play, so they can steal your barbed wire bat. And they have the option, if they steal a weapon or whatever, they can option to discard it or keep it for themselves. And so if it's discarded, so on. So, you know, it's like +3 attack, -1 to damage. So, you know, and to damage to you, because you can defend yourself with it. And there's even, if I can find the card, okay, if you poison somebody, I mean, like, I'm guessing it's like the poison spray and stuff like that. They have -1 health per round. Each round they lose a health. You can't stack poison on somebody, but if you get it healed, as soon as you take any healing, it heals, it gets rid of that. So here you have HGH, +4 to health. I'm trying to find, there's a trash can lid. Oh, I should say taunt. These allow you to draw the special cards, and I'll show you those in just a second. Here we go. So, like, here's a trash can lid. So you can have that and, like, a bat, and you can defend yourself with that, and you take less damage, and so forth. And so, you know, these are mostly weapons and healing and whatever. And so you can use these to help you out. And getting these is really important. So also you have break cards that allows you to break a weapon that somebody has. And I saw this, a stun. If you can stun somebody, then they have -1 action per round until they use a dodge. And then they lose that. So that's really debilitating as well, because everybody else is playing 2 cards. You only get to play 1. So these cards are really important. But like I said, you should remember when you discard these, you discard them into the middle. You don't get to keep them and like reuse them over and over again. Something really important to remember, because those are really powerful. And then so there's all these like things, the special cards, they are ongoing, and then they actually say like things like ongoing until poisoned or stunned, and discard the special discard pile. Just like before, you discard these to like their own discard pile. You don't discard them into your own. So +2 attack, only 1 attack per round. You know, 1 hand behind my back. 1-man wrecking crew, attack any cards are now attack all. So they can attack everybody. So really powerful abilities that you're tough to get, because you got to get a taunt card to get it, and you won't be able to use those. But pretty cool. And I should mention one thing. I apologize. When you draw those cards, whoever's taken the most damage gets to draw 2 of these cards, unless there's a tie for the person that take the most damage. In which case, nobody gets 2. Everybody gets 1. Now, there is an advanced version of the game where everybody starts with a special card, and you actually get a ref. And the ref goes to the right of the person who gets the number 1 bell. And so the ref actually takes up a spot and actually can get hurt. And so it's like a little buffer zone. And the ref can be moved around as well. And he'll move around each time. And the ref actually has damage on here, and you get a little cube for him as well, to judge the damage. And when the ref gets knocked out, you take him off because he's knocked out of the ring. You take him off and you put him off the mat. And then the next round he comes back on, and whoever knocked him out gets penalized and only gets 1 action that round. Now, you might be saying, well, why would I attack the ref? Well, there's going to be situations where, like that card, where you're attacking everybody. You're going to hurt the ref as well. There's a situation where if you, we're going to, where you can actually get put in the position where you switch spaces with somebody because you dodged to the left, so you switch places, and this guy had attack to the right, and now he's got to do the attack to the right, and he attacks the ref instead. And so it's just an added little thing that you put the ref into the ring, and that's a lot of fun actually, having the ref in there. And you just because like I said, if you can keep him next to you, that's one person you don't have to worry about. But then of course they can do stuff to move out of the way, or get him out of the way, and things like that. It's just an added little action. And once we played with the ref, we never stopped playing with the ref, because it's just kind of fun to have that extra card in there to negotiate around. So, well, there you go. That's how to play main event. It's a lot of fun. It's very fast, very quick. You can teach it in about 5 minutes, and everybody I played this with, especially my gaming group, and especially the guys I play with in my job, I've really enjoyed this. We play this over our lunch hour. But, all right, let me tell you more about the game in my conclusion. Oh, that was awesome. All right, so cool. That was main event and how to play main event. Okay, as a child... I was born in 1971, so that'll give you an idea about how old I am. As a young child, and as I grew up, I really got into wrestling in the 80s, as a lot of my friends did, and I'll fully admit that I remember my father actually breaking the news to me about wrestling not being real after I thought I saw Hulk Hogan get taken away to the hospital or whatever, because earthquake and typhoon, the natural disasters, had beaten him up the day before SummerSlam or something like that, and he wasn't going to be able to defend his title. And I was like, no! And my father's like, he's fine. And what do you mean he's fine? He just got smashed apart to pieces. And he's like, no, it's just all fake. And I was like, so he let me know. And what's really weird is and going back many years later, when my 2 younger brothers, my dad got remarried, and I have 2 younger half brothers. They're awesome, and they were huge wrestling guys as well. And I remember we were playing a wrestling game on a Nintendo or something like that, and I actually said that wrestling was fake, and my father, I remember him going, I was like, "Ma, you ruined it for me," But then I quickly covered up, and I let my brothers discover it on their own. But and then I got back into wrestling. I'm not gonna, enough about wrestling. I mean, I'm a huge wrestling. I'm into the mythology of it. I'm into the showmanship of it, and I don't watch it as much as I used to, but I still try to catch it every once in a while, and it makes me sad that the guys that I grew up watching, Macho Man was my all-time favorite, and I actually was. I mean, it was one of those things where it's like they didn't take real good care of themselves, and so when you hear about the fact that they they're kind of dropping off. It does sad because those are like my heroes of my childhood. But enough somberness, if you will, about the game. The game is exactly what I expected it to be. It is a very quick to learn, very quick to play, accurate for, this isn't a thing with miniatures and moving around and doing moves and what have you, but this is a very real, very accurate representation of the mayhem and the carnage that occurs during a free-for-all match in wrestling. I showed you at the very end, like, the kind of addition of the ref, and the ref is actually kind of a neat thing because of the fact that he can get hit and knocked around, and so as he moves around the table, he can get knocked out, and just like, all the wrestling, the ref's been knocked out or whatever, and then that's when, like, the guys can pull their evil moves and whatever, and I kind of dig that, and the whole thing about the game is really about not having people pay attention to you. You don't want to get. There's definitely a situation where I love the fact that you get to draw 4 cards and you plan your strategy. And if people have been picking on you and people have been beating you down, and like sharks smelling blood in the water, any good player will go after you, because the sooner you're out, the sooner you're done, and they can't you're not going to be helping you. So you'll find yourself as you play this game, if you're starting to get knocked down, you're gonna. Like, you need to start taking defensive cards and, like, playing those or doing whatever you can to get the cards in the middle that have the healer and things like that. And because the best way to play the game, if you're looking to win, is to, not anger anybody by attacking them too much, but also just kind of, staying on the side, just like in a real Royal Rumble. Remember, the Royal Rumble there's always that guy that kind of, like, hangs out. His plan during the entire match is always to be, like, kind of creeping around the edge of the match and watching other people beat each other up, and then, and taking, like, cheap shots at little opportunities to knock people out of the ring and things like that. And so the game isn't difficult by any means, but I mean, it's definitely got all the theme, all the action, everything that you're looking for. And this is one of those games that now is in my bag that I take to work, and this is the game that I play on my lunch when I got my sandwich in one hand, I'm playing the other game with the other, and so it has this, like, simple little card game that I can teach, and I really, really enjoy it for that respect. Basically, it's a deck building game that I don't mind, which is impressive in its own right, because I'm pretty much burnt out on the whole deck building genre. And so, because this one didn't really feel too much like a deck builder, because of the fact that when you use up these main event cards that are in the middle, you use them up, and same with the special cards and things like that. And so you got those basic cards, and I like the whole idea that you pick 4 and you choose to. So there's some strategy there. Like, you're picking what you're going to do, and so there's all kinds of fun stuff that goes on as far as that is concerned. And it totally is a game of, like, take that and revenge, and the game develops a story as you go along. And for all those reasons and more, I think if you like wrestling, I think if you like card games, I think you're going to really dig this. I invite you to check out the game over on Kickstarter. And yeah, so there you go. If you have any questions about the game, by all means, ask away. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. And yeah, you have yourself one heck of an awesome day until we meet again. All right, bye-bye.